All right, everyone. Welcome to Nerdcamp Sports. It is Monday. I'll be facilitating tonight. Mike Williams. It's echoing already. Do I hear that?
Yeah, I hear it.
And the leave sentence.
Okay.
All right, we're good now.
No, I
no,
still.
it's there.
Go ahead out, Raj.
All right.
Is it still there? I still hear it. Try this. Okay.
June 29th, 1994. The New Jersey Nets.
All right, is Echo still there?
I put my headset in. I don't hear it. Do you guys hear it?
No. Now I hear it's delayed.
Oh boy.
All right, let me put my headset in. Hold on.
Okay.
It might be. I'm gonna get off my tablet and switch to my phone.
Okay, bro.
All right, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, we should be good.
Can you hear us? All right, Will went back out. He was gonna come back in just in case it was him. But I think when you came back in that time, it went away. But I was hearing it for sure. Because that I was just like, damn it, damn you.
Like I don't hear it now.
I don't hear it either. I put my headset in because I know sometimes it says it'll have like tips and it'll say if you hear an echo to put on a headset or headphones. I'm like, how about y'all do better at making it not echo? Like the way technology is, you should be able to fix that. Like,
right, exactly.
What do I know? If I knew something, I want to be a truck driver.
Wait, what'd you say?
Said if I knew something, I wouldn't be a truck driver.
Right.
Just waiting for him to come back in. I guess we can mention that. Did you see they already announced the first game of the season?
No. What's the first game?
The Jets and the Giants and the Cowboys again.
Nobody want to see that.
That's what I'm saying every year. Like, how many times I'm gonna say it every episode? For the love of God, NFL, can we stop putting the Cowboys on TV? Please. Says Buffalo will open its new stadium on Thursday Night Football in week 2 when the Bills host the Lions. That one will be a good one. Hold on, just trying to get to Excuse me. Well, while we wait for him to come in, I'm just gonna get started on a topic here.
Yeah, let's get rolling.
So, first thing I'm gonna start off with is Aaron Rodgers.
The fraudulent one.
Right now, the fraudulent thing he's doing is holding up the process.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I did not want him at all. This is why I did not want him to come back, because of this moment right now. This moment right now, all he's good for is fucking shit up. And that's all he's doing is fucking shit up. I read a report that last week he was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. He was supposed to meet with Pittsburgh and talk about potentially about what's next. So I'm like, all right, cool. We good. We're going to get that. Then I read another report that didn't happen. That he did not go to Pittsburgh. That he did not meet with the Steelers. And that they still don't know. Like they suspect he's going to play. But like, I need to hear him say, I'm playing. Or I'm not playing. Like it's really that simple. Like, to me, I'm looking at, they drafted Drew Aller, and Lord, I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's scary. His footwork is so bad. Stevie Wonder could do better. Like, it's bad. Bro, it's bad. I mean, like, he went viral because his footwork is that bad. He looks like he's ready to trip over his own feet. Like, it is bad, bro. His footwork is so bad. So, the question, I'm going to go, and we're talking about the Aaron Rodgers saga right now. Well, he was supposed to go to Pittsburgh and meet with them last week, and then he didn't go to Pittsburgh and meet. And then I was telling him how the guy we drafted, Drew Aller, he went viral because I don't know if you've seen the video, but his footwork was so bad. Like, it was real bad. Like, he looked like it was so bad Stevie Wonder could do better. Like, it was bad.
What school did he come out of?
Drew Aller.
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah,
Penn State.
Was it Penn State?
Yeah.
Penn State. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was so bad. So, Raj, what do you think the Steelers should do at the quarterback position if Aaron Rodgers does not return for some reason?
I mean, it's pretty much a done deal. I hate the fact that he keeps teams hostage like that, but the Jets had to deal with it as well. They had issues with Aaron Rodgers making a decision twice. And it's just the way he operates. So at this point, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers' best bet is to just kind of work through the free agency market. Try to look for, I'm not saying he's a free agent, but try to find someone like a Tyrod Taylor or someone that's like a veteran that's been in the NFL for a couple of years or a few years and been on a few teams.
Didn't Tyrod just sign with Green Bay?
What's that?
Didn't Tyrod just sign with Green Bay?
Yeah. I'm saying like
somebody in that mold.
I got you. Someone like Tyrod Taylor, because here's the problem. Here's the issue. The issue is you guys are in win now mode. You guys don't want to hear, our quarterback doesn't know how to run backwards. We don't want to hear that. Like, we got to figure it out now. Like, it's got to be on the fly. So I feel that the best opportunity is in a free agency market, or probably look towards the UFL or the XFL, whatever it's called, UFL, excuse me. Look for those type of quarterbacks that's doing good, because at this point, everyone else pretty much got their quarterback and their backups. And if you find somebody that's out there that's not signed, you just pray to God that he can throw a ball. That's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell Aaron Rodgers still doing playing football, to be honest. He should have retired 3 years ago.
Well, the other thing too, the other layer to this is like Steelers have always, since Ben started showing he was coming towards the end, um, they've always played they've always played poker with the quarterback position. And
Right.
regardless of how you look at it, the quarterback position is the most important position. Um, and if it's not the most important, it's definitely one of the top, obviously in the top categories. So I just think that you got to pull that trigger. You know, you got to do something. And if to me, and actually I'm going to segue to Will's question. If you were in the Steelers situation, Will, who would you start? The guy you just drafted in Drew Aller, or the guy you drafted last year in Will Howard, and give him a shot?
I don't think they have any real faith in either one of them, which is why, look, I'm gonna say this. Sometimes, you got to read between the lines, read the tea leaves, however you want to put it. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers this season. If they didn't have some sort of agreement, in place already, I don't think they would be sitting around waiting on him. You know what I mean? Hoping that he's going to show up. He's going to be there. They got whatever arrangement that they got. You know what I mean? So I would bet my paycheck that he's going to end up being a starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think that everybody knows that this was considered like not exactly a quarterback heavy draft. I don't think they saw anybody that they felt like, was in their reach, because obviously they wasn't going to get up to number one, you know what I'm saying, for Mendoza.
Right.
Oakland, so I think they just planning for a transitional year, trying to make the best out of what they got, again, this season, to, see what happens. And then I think their plan is to try to get their quarterback in next year's draft, which is supposed to have more, what are considered to be, I don't want to say NFL ready per se, but you know what I mean. But people who are considered to be high level quarterback prospects. You know what I'm saying? Because these last couple of drafts have been a little light. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So you know what I mean. And I'll say this too: like there isn't really any one way to transition from one. I'm not even going to say all-time great quarterback. I'll just say from one really good quarterback to another really good quarterback. It's rare that you have a situation where with the Colts, they draft Peyton Manning and then he get hurt. Nobody was expecting them to, be in position for the number one pick. That following year. But Peyton Manning didn't play that year, and it was the Andrew Luck draft. So they basically tanked, you know what I'm saying, for Andrew Luck. Green Bay do their thing where they, mid-round picks, late-round picks, undrafted, whatever, and develop them. And they ended up with, Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to now, Love or whatever the case may be. It's not a whole lot of examples of teams, you know what I'm saying, going from just immediately transitioning from one good quarterback situation to another one. The Oilers / Titans, they went from Warren Moon to Steve McNair. But it's not a whole lot of examples of that, so and it's a very, very, very hard thing to do. So I think, like I said, I just think they're trying to make the best out of this season, you know what I mean, and then make their plan for next year's draft.
I think both of you are right. Both of what there is a piece of both of what both of you said that was right. Like, Will, your take on them doing what they do, I feel like that's correct. Or Raj is also right when he says they're trying to win right now. So, I
don't disagree with that.
Right. So, like you always say, more than one thing can be true at once, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, you don't go even though the quarterback position's in the air, they went out there and they got Rico Dowell, right, who's rushed for 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons. They went out there, they traded for Michael Pittman to hopefully take some relief off of DK Metcalf you know, and the help to have another guy. They believe in their tight ends. You know, they did a lot of different things in the free agency. But to me, they just don't have the cohesive. They're not going to have the cohesiveness they need to succeed right now.
If they were going to bottom out for a quarterback for next year, like just off bail, then they would probably be starting one of them two dudes that you just named. You know what I'm saying? And not concerning themselves with Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? That's why I say like a transitional year. I don't think they're giving up on competing this year. I don't think they can do that to the TJ Watts and the Casey Hamptons and the like, you know what I'm saying? They can't go to them and tell them, you know what I mean? Like, nah, bro, we just gonna, you know, we're gonna punt on this year. You know what I mean? And it's hard. It's much harder to have an NFL team and NFL players that are literally out there putting their life on the line. You know what I'm saying? From week to week, to to be able to stomach that kind of thing. You know.
I read something before that I forget what player said it, but they said, or maybe a doctor said, having one NFL game is the equivalent of having a major car accident every week.
Yeah. No, every tackle is like a 20-mile-per-hour car crash or something like that. Every tackle.
Oh wow! I didn't hear that one. I wouldn't doubt it though. These guys, man, they hit each other hard. Like
you talk about 250-pound dudes that run 4.5s and 4.6s. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Smacking into each other. You know, like
that's like I always say. Like when I tell people, you know, like when I'm doing my fantasy, like weeks like 1 through 3 be good. Once like week 4 comes, dudes start, you know, the little injuries start happening. Then the bye weeks show up, and then you got 3 injured dudes, and then you got bye weeks, and now your schedule's fucked. You're like, oh my god. So I want to transition into Russell Wilson.
Oh,
from what I've read, I don't know if you guys have read the same thing. The Jets have offered Russell Wilson a contract to back up Geno Smith, but Russell Wilson has stated, I have an opportunity to do TV as well.
Bye.
Listen, bro, I had a turn. You got to have one now.
No. We're not.
That's what you said. That's what you said about Aaron Rodgers.
We're not doing this with the quarterback.
You I had a turn. Now you got to have a turn.
Rodgers,
before I let you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, at least they not bringing him in as a starter. You know what I'm saying? Or even to compete for the starting job. He's like breaking case of emergency.
But that's the thing, though, Will. I know they're gonna end up making him a starter, like week 4. Week 4, he's gonna end up the starter.
He knows it's coming.
Look, and I'm gonna be very short and simple with my take. Okay. Outside of football, I think Russell Wilson's a great guy. All jokes aside, I think he's a great person.
Great husband, great father.
Football-wise, he should have retired a few years ago, just like Aaron Rodgers. When it comes down to the New York Jets, okay, they're in the same building as the New York Giants. They play in the MetLife Stadium. However, when it comes down to it, I knew in the back of my mind, I was thinking about this. I said, watch Russell Wilson try to finesse the NFL so he can stay in New York. So he's saying he's got a media job, but in reality, what he's doing is negotiating so he can stay in New York because that's where he's been staying for the past couple of years. So he's going to come in as like the quote-unquote backup quarterback whisperer or whatever you want to call it. And he's going to mess up the team chemistry because he's going to play week 3, week 4. I'm telling you, clip this video. Mark my words. Geno Smith either going to get hurt or he's going to get booed out of the stadium. And if Russell Wilson is putting on that Jets jersey, he's playing week 3 or week 4. And it's not
real quick. I just got this update. Updated Rodgers Steelers. May 18th believed to be Pittsburgh's circle target date for potential contract decision.
Just sign it now.
Well, why we gotta wait 7 more days?
Yeah.
just threw that in there. So, I mean, when it comes to Russ, let me, I know you said you had a short take, but
Yeah,
let
that's all I had
you,
to say.
But let me ask you this question. Do you trust him or Geno more? Because that's who you got. That's who the Jets have. Like, so, and we like, and I just want to just like just a quick overview. Geno left, went to Seattle, made himself look good, right? And we seen what Seattle did, so we obviously know it was more or less the surrounding pieces than him, because they just did it with Sam Darnold, right? And then that altered him a good deal with the Raiders. We seen how that went. That was awful. And now he's back with the Jets. Then you look at Russ, once Seattle was done, it's been a downward spiral. There's been glimpses of, of positivity. He did 2 seasons in Denver, right?
Yeah.
So one season was really bad. One season was a little better, but not great. And then it was Pittsburgh. He went into the season hurt, but then, they were 4-1 and said we got to let Russ cook. And he looked great up until we started facing the real teams. Like his first game was against the Giants or the Jets. Like, you supposed to win them games, right? And then once we started facing the Ravens and the Bills, and then he shrank, and now he went to the Giants, signed a big deal there, played 3 games, and then they sat him for Dart. And now he has another opportunity if he chooses to go and stay with New York. So it's just like based on those 2 timelines, which guy could you trust more?
I would say I trust Geno more at this point. And I'm not saying that Russ, like I said, is not a good person or a good player or a team or a good teammate. I just feel like physically he's done. I feel like he's physically out of whatever we saw in Denver. He can't do that anymore.
Right.
So I'd rather give Geno Smith the opportunity, let him fail, and see where it goes. Because I'm waiting for Arch Manning to walk through that door. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Arch Manning. And I know damn well it's not going to happen, but at least I can wait.
You can be hopeful, Roger.
Exactly.
That it's going to happen. Hopeful.
Exactly. Because I know the Manning family is going to sabotage that. They're going to be like, oh, no. He's not going to play for the Jets. He's not putting on a Jets uniform. So, yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time, right?
Exactly. And that's why I'm thinking it, because I'm like, I know for a fact, if they did it once, they could do it again. And I feel like they will.
So, Will, in your opinion, then, based off of that, my personal thing is I think these 2 guys are on this roster. If Russ signs for 1 year, what should the Jets do at the position to improve? Because a lot of the other pieces they have seem to be like they can work, they can do something with, but that quarterback position is the death of them.
At the risk of sounding redundant and hitting y'all with a little deja vu, but basically the same thing I was just saying about Pittsburgh. Feel like the Jets, though they should have been in position to have the number 1 pick, and getting Mendoza, you know what I'm saying? They didn't end up with the number 1 pick. Don't think they was high on any of the quarterbacks and other quarterbacks in this draft. Feel like they taking a shot on next year's draft. I think they signed Geno because they don't want to play themselves too far out of reach. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They can't have the disaster at quarterback that's been taking place these last few years. You know what I'm saying? And I think, again, Geno can do that for them. I agree that I would trust Geno more at this point in time. Geno has played well more recently. When we saw Geno get to a situation with good coaching and some stability and a little talent around him, we saw him excel.
That's true.
The Raiders were a dumpster fire last year. You know what I'm saying? So I can't put everything that took place, you know what I mean, with him last year on him, because he's not the kind of quarterback that's about to come in and elevate your entire franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like, He's just not
Absolutely.
that guy. You know what I mean? Do
Yeah.
I think he can come in and play well and give them some stability at that position this year? So that though, because y'all got young weapons. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got young weapons, but again, I don't think that Aaron Glenn can afford for it to look as bad as it did last year. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected them to win a bunch of games, but it just the optics were so bad last year. You
Right.
know. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's, again, just to a lesser degree than with the Steelers do feel like they could at least contend with an Aaron Rodgers. I feel like the Jets feel like, you know what I mean? Okay, we're not gonna challenge for our division, but we're not gonna be, you know what I mean, the god awful mess that we were, you know what I mean, this past season. And I think that's what, you know what I mean, because Aaron Glenn might kind of be coaching for his job this year because of
Yeah.
how things went last year. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean that they got to make the playoffs for him to keep his job. It just can't be as bad as last year was. They need to see something, but still have an opportunity to find themselves a quarterback in next year's draft. I do have a
Mm-hmm.
question for y'all. What the hell is going
Shoot.
on with this? It ain't no fun if the homies can't have none quarterback room that y'all teams got going on, bro. Y'all just keep passing them around and passing them back and forth and sharing them, and you know what I'm saying? It's like, what in the hell is happening? Y'all let me know something. You know what I mean? Because this is getting a little crazy. Tell me I'm tripping.
You're not tripping. They playing the game of recycle and reinvent.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Will, it's what it is. It's a money laundering scheme. That's what it is.
Money
And it's
laundering
going
is
and it's going
crazy.
from Pittsburgh to New Jersey.
Oh man.
Because this ain't the first time, it ain't the last. I'm telling you, they found their niche. They say, yo, we gonna find teams that are trash in the AFC or teams that potentially can make the playoffs and don't really have no other expectations outside of that. And we just gonna keep milking them for money. Like we know Pittsburgh is an 8-8 team. We know that every single season, 8-8, right? And we know that the Giants and the Jets, they're just trashed organizations. They've been like that for a few years, especially the Jets. Jets been like that since I was born. Like 40 plus years, it's been the most worst franchise in all of the AFC. So with that being said, there's quarterbacks that are old as shit, or at least they should be retiring. Those type of quarterbacks that just get money laundering type money. They just get money scamming us. So it is what it is.
I got a question for both of y'all. Was
Yeah.
there a quarterback available this offseason that y'all would have rather, you know what I mean, your team find? Whether it was a Malik Willis, whether it was a
Malik
Kyler
Willis.
Murray, say Malik Willis.
Malik Willis by far. I mean, when we
Ye-
drafted Kenny Pickett, I'd rather have had him. He could move with the ball. He had a big arm. Sure, he was a bit of a project, but he had the pieces. Kenny Pickett did not have the pieces. See, to me, the first game Kenny Pickett came in, that's what he did was throw picks. We took the ETT off his name. He threw picks, and I just wasn't a believer. But for me, Malik Willis was, shown some signs of what, and he did good in Green Bay in the time he was there. And I thought he deserved a shot. I was hoping we would grab him, but then he goes to Miami. He's like, man, fuck this. I need warm weather.
I mean, even though he wasn't a free agent, but he was definitely out there on the market for trade. I would say Kyler Murray.
Well, didn't they cut him? They cut
No, yeah,
Kyler Murray.
he was a free agent. He was a free
He was a
agent.
free agent because he got cut.
Oh, he was a free
Yeah,
agent. Oh, okay, I thought they traded
yeah.
him. My bad.
No,
No,
they
Yeah,
they
I would
cut
have
him.
picked.
That's why Minnesota got him for little or nothing because Arizona is still on the hook for the majority of for like 36 million for him this year.
Oh, okay. Well, I
he
would
got
I
that.
would have picked him up.
I wouldn't have been a bad pickup either.
Because you know what, and I really hate to say this because there's not a lot of opportunities for quarterbacks to get a second chance, but I would have worked with him because he was a top pick, former Heisman winner, and I didn't feel like he had a fair shake out there in Arizona. And a lot of people didn't like him because he's undersized, and they said he was too small to play quarterback. But in reality, his first year in Arizona, he did excellent for somebody that they look down on. So I would have picked him up and see where it went.
Wouldn't surprise me at all if he does really well in Minnesota this year. I'm a little nervous about them.
And you know what? I agree. Because I feel like he's going to be on his revenge tour.
Arizona is one of them organizations that I just don't trust. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Larry Fitzgerald is the exception, not the rule. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Well, and the other thing is, too, when you look, him going there, to me, that kind of helps make Minnesota potentially back to not what they were, but it makes them more, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for?
I think he gives them a higher ceiling than they had with Sam Darnold, but I also think there might be a lower floor than there was with Sam Darnold. It could be a whole ass disaster.
Literally and in a figurative way.
Yeah.
Well, I think because you look at that, you look at that division, right? I expect Detroit to be in the mix. I expect Green Bay to be in the mix. Chicago now, there's expectations for Chicago now. There's expectations. There's no Caleb went out there and lit it up, and then did they lose in the second? Not the wild card, the divisional, right?
For the Bears?
Yeah, the Bears.
I don't even remember.
I know they almost won. Wherever they were, they had almost won. But, they went out there and they did it. They won
a playoff game. Didn't the first playoff game, didn't Caleb had that play where he ran around like 80 yards or something like that and then threw a 40, 50 yard, but they won that game, right?
Yeah, they won one.
Yeah.
So now there's expectations, and they were first or second in the conference. So, Ben Johnson went there and changed the culture. So, now there's expectations. So now Minnesota had to do something to hold on. So it's going to be, probably the most entertaining division in football this upcoming season, in my opinion. It was the AFC North for a while, but now that NFC North is definitely
I think the NFC North and the NFC West are battling for best division next year.
That's Rams. Okay, yeah.
Rams, Seattle, San Francisco, and who am I leaving out?
Arizona. See?
Arizona.
That's how bad they are.
Yeah.
So we'll get more into depth about this next topic next week. But I kind of just want to get you guys' thoughts on what we know so far about it. And the NFL schedule is set to be released on Thursday, the 14th. Some of the things that stand out so far is week 1, the Rams at the Niners in Australia, but the dates look weird because it says there's 2 potential dates, either September 9th or the 10th. Week 3, we got the Cowboys and the Ravens in Brazil. Weeks 4 through 6, the NFL returns to London. Of course, Jacksonville has 2 games there, and the Commanders have a game there. Week 10, the Lions play in Germany, which is November 15th. Week 11, the Niners are playing in Mexico, New City. Says to be determined. The Falcons are playing in Spain. Kickoff weekend, we got someone facing the Seahawks on the 9th. Oh, and then of course, okay, and of course Dallas and the Giants Sunday Night Football. But now here's the bigger change. The bigger change is that I usually on Thanksgiving we get 3 games. Well, they
Right.
took one game and they put it on Thanksgiving Eve. So now we're gonna have a Wednesday night game on Thanksgiving Eve, and then there's gonna be a Thanksgiving doubleheader, and then there's still gonna be the Black Friday game. So, in both of your opinions, what do you think about the expansion of international games, as well as them now stretching out the Thanksgiving weekend schedule for the NFL?
I don't I don't like Wednesday games at all. I don't think there's any reason to have any Wednesday games. Know what they probably
Mm-hmm.
gonna do? You probably gonna have maybe a bye week the week before or something. You know what I mean? Which hopefully that's how they gonna do it. You know what I mean? So that they got what 10, 11 days or whatever leading into the Wednesday game. But I do not like Wednesday games. I don't see the need or the reason for it. Um, I'm not mad about putting games in other countries. If again, as long as they're taking the schedule into consideration, in regards to travel time and all of that for them coming back to stateside, whatever the case may be. Um, Not mad at the Black Friday. This is what I'll say.
This is what I'll say.
The NFL might end up. Part of what makes the NFL is that every game is like an event. You know what I'm saying? There's only 17 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, if they start putting games on more nights, they might end up watering down their product a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because at this point, you know what I mean, most football fans, Sunday is football day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Have my reds on so I can check on all the other games, and you know what I mean. Like it's when you start trying to have games 3, 4 nights out the week, 5 nights out the week at this point, because only technically 6 games. Because at this point, the only days that's not having any NFL games is fucking Tuesdays at this point. You know what I mean? Like literally. So,
Right.
like, so for their business model, I don't know if that's what I mean, a good idea. I just feel like the Sundays, what I mean, NFL Sundays is a big thing, and I think they might just kind of be overreaching a little bit with in regards to
Mm-hmm.
the date. I do feel like, especially if they're gonna do all this international travel and everything, they probably need to add another bye week to the schedule too. Because that's a lot again for a game that demands a lot. It's just a reason why you can only play it once a week. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot on them with all the international travel and whatnot. So if they're gonna do all of this, I would say add a bye week. Because we was just sitting here talking about how after week 3, you ain't nobody in the league healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody playing some kind of hurt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so that would be that's my thoughts on it.
What about you, Raj?
I agree with everything that Will just said. I feel like they're overreaching. I feel like the NFL is being greedy. There's a level of like just overdoing it because they're trying to move the goalposts when it comes down to like the international market. Let me put it to you this way. When they start doing games in like Germany and they start doing games in like London and stuff like that, I was like, all right, cool. That's cool because I remember the time of them having the NFL Europe,
NFL
right?
year, yeah.
And I remember how important it was for European fans to be involved in watching American football. That was huge. But now it's like the NFL, and forgive me guys for saying this, but it feels like the NFL is pandering towards the Latin market. And they're pushing the Mexico games, the Brazilian games. You know, they're going all in the international markets of Latin America. And I feel like they're overextending themselves because these are typically fans that pretty much don't watch American football. They watch soccer. They watch, you know, Euro League and Spanish soccer. You get what I'm saying? So they're pushing it, but they're also doing it at the expense of these athletes. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So remember the Brazilian game was like, it was at like a weird time. Wasn't it at like 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah.
I don't recall, but I remember it was late. And it ended at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
They had like 9:30 or something like that.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I feel like they're overdoing it with pushing it out there to all the type of markets. I think the European market should be their main focus. And I also feel like as far as the days go, it's too many damn days of playing football, watching football. Give me my Thursdays and my Sundays, and we're good. And my Mondays,
and we can't.
And we're good.
Can't forget about M and F, Monday Night Football. That's been a staple of the NFL as long as I can remember, at least.
Right. But when you start adding in like Black Friday and Wacky Wednesday, like what are we doing?
Wacky Wednesday's crazy.
So here's why.
Mike, can I jump in real quick? Because I just don't want to lose this thought. I feel like the NFL, the NBA played a long game with their international, endeavors. David Stern, God rest his soul, was a fucking marketing genius. And what he did not do, was just go start opening up NBA leagues. The NBA already had endeavors in these other countries or whatever and would build a relationship. But we've all heard them talk about it. He used the Dream Team as the ultimate marketing tool globally at the 92 Olympics. You know what I mean? On the stage where everybody was going to be looking. And the NBA walked away from that, now a global league. Even though they kind of had, players coming from Europe and stuff like that, Sarunas Marciulionis and Drazen Petrovic and all. But now we see the game is, the league is something like 1/3 of them come from, our international players, 40%, something like that, whatever the case may be. Yeah. But the NBA also, they didn't just overnight, start doing everything. They built up to and build relationships in these countries, and Nike been sending people to China, for forever, and all of this stuff. The NFL, I feel like they're just kind of like, we're the NFL, which is why when they tried to do NFL Europe, it failed because they didn't build like grassroots. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't build it up they didn't build it from the ground up. You know what I mean? They just tried to kind of put it out there, and I feel like they're kind of doing that again. You know what I mean? I know they did the NFL, again, the London games and all of that, and then now, but I don't know, man. I think they're trying to take the NBA model, but it doesn't necessarily work for the NFL. And I feel like when the NBA, when it was for the most part, you got to see your local team all the time, but it was the NBA on NBC, you know what I mean, at that point in time. And then, if you had cable, you know what I mean, a couple of games on TNT. Now with so many games available, everybody says it's too many games. They played too many games. Well, when it felt more like, you know what I mean, it was harder to get your hands on it and get eyes on it, that wasn't a complaint. So again, that idea of kind of oversaturating, you know what I mean, your product.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
And I want to add in one last piece to that, right? And I think we got to, and I'm glad you brought up David Stern, right? And how he built the NBA and the international market after the Olympics. If you look at how they're doing things now with flag football, if the NFL is smart, they will use that as a gateway to open up the international, especially the Latino market, because they're more into flag football than tackle football.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I was watching, I forgot her name. I can't remember her name right off top, but she's from Mexico. She's like one of the biggest stars out there in Mexico playing flag football.
Yeah.
And it's a woman, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, like, I feel like that's the route the NFL should go to push more games in the other markets outside of Europe. Like, that's better than actually saying, okay, we're gonna play in Brazil at like 10:30 at night.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or we're gonna play in Mexico, and then the grass is not even like the same type of grass they play American football. Like it's just one of those type of things where you're kind of like, maybe they're doing too much. So that's just my take.
Well, a couple things that I have to really add on to that is one, I don't like how the international games are getting later in the season. So, like, the last one's week 11. And, to Will's point of worrying about the schedule, when you start to get to weeks 11 and 12, that's the gear where you're starting to work towards the playoffs. I know me personally, I don't want to travel out the country to play a game that late in the season, unless you're giving me a bye week the next week. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
He had also mentioned a second bye week. One thing I can tell you is that the NFL is going to be an 18-game regular season. I know it. It's going to happen. And once that happens, they will be implementing a second bye week. So, that's one thing I've seen. Like, they're like, oh, are we going to do it? It's not, are you going to do it? It's when you're going to do it. Like that's the key. When are you going to do it? Look at how much revenue they made off of one game. You added one game. There's what, 32 teams in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
32. So that's an extra 16 games, right? And then you take that, you add on one playoff team in each oh my God, help me out here. Each conference for the playoffs. So instead of I got 3 playoff games. It's 2 extra games there, by adding a team and eliminating a bye. So it really has changed a lot. I don't like the league games later and later being far. Personally, I'm okay with you going and trying to get other markets, whatever. That's where we're going. Fine, but all those games should be wrapped up, my opinion, by week 8. It's okay to do 2 countries in the same week. Just make sure you schedule the guys in a way that works for them. As for the Thanksgiving debacle, I don't like it. I know a lot of players don't like playing on Thanksgiving, especially if you are Detroit or Dallas, because you're going to be playing on Thanksgiving. Even though last year they played each other and they didn't put that on Thanksgiving, so we had a shot at something that that wasn't Dallas for once. That would have been an entertaining game, in my opinion, at that point. But I don't like why do we need a pre-Thanksgiving game? Why? That's the question.
Yeah, that's
why
crazy.
Do we need that? Nobody asked for this. Like, just like that versus Rick Ross and French Montana. We didn't ask for that. We didn't ask for it, but y'all gave it to us. And it's the same thing with this. Like, who asked for this? I want to know. Because to me, most families are preparing food the day before for Thanksgiving, right? Excuse me. So you go and you take one of your Thanksgiving games, you put it on there, and then you will have 2 on Thanksgiving instead of 3. And then you take one and you put it on the middle of the day. the day after Thanksgiving. And then we know the Black Friday game's been a thing now. I think this is the third, maybe fourth season, but I just think you're stretching, to Will's point, you're stretching it too thin. And then to me, it hurts the schedule. And what I mean is that week, right now, you have a Wednesday game, 2 Thursdays, a Friday, and then soon enough you start getting into that Saturday section of the season. And then Sunday you have no games. There's like 6 games on, 7 games. And then Monday you still have Monday night. So like it just really stretches the schedule. I just really wish, and to me, they're going to just keep doing more. Like I said, I believe within the next, I'm going to say at a risk, 3 years, we're going to be on this show talking about an 18-game season, in my opinion.
That's
3
whack,
seasons.
man.
They're gonna get rid of another preseason game and just turn it in. Not get rid of it. They're just gonna turn another preseason game into
Into a regular
a regular
season
season
game.
game.
And the thing is, people are like, oh, we're getting rid of a preseason game. Most of the players who made the cut don't play in those games. And so they don't play in those games. Those games are for players who are still trying to get on a roster. You know, you got a roster with 47, 48 spots. Teams are trying to get to 53. That's what those games are for those guys. It's not for the starters. You don't see Holmes out there in the preseason. You know, you're not going to see, any older players like Aaron Rodgers out there in the preseason. You're not going to see it. They're just going to start in the regular season.
That 4th preseason game was damn near useless because again, it's a bunch of fringe roster guys playing against a bunch of fringe roster guys. So it's not even, maybe you get some good film out of it, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Being able to beat out there beating the corner that's about to get cut, you know what I'm saying, in 2 days is not exactly, gonna get you a contract.
Absolutely.
Quick question, Mike. So you said the Lions play in Germany on November 14th, right?
Hold on. Let me look at it's still here. Lions are playing, week 10, November 15th.
15th. What day does Thanksgiving fall on? What's the date of the Thanksgiving game?
Hold on, I closed it. Thanksgiving game, November 26th.
So they probably gonna have a bye or something and then play on Thanksgiving. Selfishly for my Lions, that was really the thing that jumped out at me when you said that they playing in Germany on November 15th. That's crazy.
And the Thanksgiving Eve game will be on Netflix. And the Black Friday game's on Amazon Prime.
Of course it is.
More money.
Of course.
More money.
So I got one more NFL topic. It's going to be a quick one, and then we'll get into updated NBA playoffs. And that's where we'll go through the series, and that'll be the show. But we know that'll take about an hour anyway. So Patrick Mahomes. We talked briefly about this last week, Will, when R&B was here, because he had brought it up towards the end of the show. But there's real fuel now saying that he will play, or let me not say fuel. There's real speculation that he will play week 1. I'm just going to keep my take quick because it's really simple to me. To me, do not rush him back if he's not ready. He's your franchise guy, and whether people like it or not, right now he's the face of this league. He's come in and has already, in my opinion, had a Hall of Fame career. If he were retired today, I think he would go there. But he's got more work to do, obviously. But as you know, he wins another Super Bowl. We're talking about catching Brady. Like that's what the conversation's there now. Well, we know if he wins another one, that's what the conversation will be. So, in your opinion, guys, what's the plan if you're the coach? If you're Andy Reid in the Chiefs organization, how would you play Patrick Mahomes' return?
I would take my time bringing him back, because at this point you're risking his long-term career if you bring him back too soon and he gets hurt. I know it's two different sports, but let's take a look at how things turned out with Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum came back at a very, very fast rate. Some would say it was, kind of like unbelievable rate. And when the playoffs came, he ended up getting hurt and not playing the last game of the series. Ended up losing, that series to the 76ers. And I bring that up because you never want to rush somebody back from any type of severe injury. And excuse me, with Patrick Mahomes, if you don't have him as your number one guy for the next, I would say probably 3 to 5 years, then that could reset your whole franchise. So you don't want to risk it. I would take my time with him. I'll do everything I possibly can to make sure that he's healthy. And when he's ready to come back, we'll come back. And if it's week 5, week 6, if you go 500, that's good enough for him to come back and kind of like, take it from there. So I wouldn't rush him back at all. That's just my opinion.
Well, before you go, Will, that's the thing to me. Like we had we talked about it a few weeks back about me saying this used to be a year injury. Like he got hurt, whatever week 10 or 12 or whatever it was. Like you don't see the field potentially the whole next season either. And to me, Adrian Peterson was the one that started the trend in this direction. How fast he came back and almost broke the rushing record. But in the same sense, you want him back out there, but you just can't. If it's me, I'm not risking it. Like you just can't. Or you shouldn't. You could, but is the risk worth the reward? That's the thing. Go ahead, Will.
I'll say this: I don't think that we would be hearing these reports if, like, you know what I mean. I don't think Andy Reid or that organization with I think the Hunts own that the Chiefs. I don't think that they would, even gamble with that if they felt like, what I mean, he's not ready come that time. Um, Even if it's not week 1, if it's week 2 or week 3, like again, nowadays those injuries that used to be, sometimes career threatening or ending are not as bad. We seeing people coming back from Achilles tears, you know what I'm saying, and still out here balling, so with the modern medicine and technology, and they got all the best of that available to them, I'm sure. Like, it would not surprise me at all if he's ready for week 1. He's probably somebody who do need a preseason game, you know what I mean, or 2 to just get back out there to gain speed or whatever the case
Knock the
may be.
rust off.
But wouldn't surprise me at all if he's ready. You know what I mean? Week 1, like I feel like, and even for him, like I feel like he's already one of those guys that, like, he's not really competing with anybody else right now. He's competing with the Montanas and the Bradys and the, the Peyton Mannings, and like that's his competition right now, not the people he actually occupy the field with.
Right.
I think he is planning to try to catch and surpass Brady. Like, you don't get too many of those chances, so I feel like he probably is pushing himself to be ready, for week 1. It's like it's like I say, I don't if he's not ready and not able to be out there and protect himself, I don't think they're gonna play them kind of game. But I think the conversation is just kind of out there right now because it's a possibility.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to see what it turns like from there moving forward. I mean, that's all we can do. But hopefully he waits those few games and we can go from there. What's going on?
This dude, James Harden's hilarious, man.
R&B, what's up, my brother? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, man?
What up, bro?
On, fellas? What's going on?
Nah, nothing. We just had some NFL topics, so just transitioning into the NBA playoffs. So you right on time. How you feeling, dude? Right now at the moment.
I ain't not too good, man, but I figured I'd just come and join in on the conversation as I'm on my way home.
All right. Well, you here? That's all that matters to me. So we gonna just go with it. So, and you know what? Just because you here right now, R&B, I wasn't gonna start here, but damn it, I'm gonna start here. You know, Raj, you was radio silent this week, bro. You was radio silent after that game one. My man Raj disappeared from the chat. I was putting everything trying to get this man's attention. He was not answering.
I know
Damn
he was
it,
raised
he was
baiting,
not
but go
answering.
ahead. Continue.
I was great. Yo, I even messaged R&B on the side saying we had to get a wellness check for you because I was like, yo, this dude Raj is trolling because he ain't answering. And I know that nigga's reading this shit. I know it.
Right. No, you know what? I have to defend them. My phone is set up where I can tell who reads it and when they read it. It showed me. So until his name popped up, he hadn't read it yet. What it was is he was neglecting the chat because he knew what it was, what we were talking about.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. But go ahead, continue.
So, oh my God. So we're gonna start it off here. Now the Spurs and the Timberwolves are tied at 2 games. But more importantly, I want to know what are your thoughts? Because we all know game 1, Wemby didn't do too well. Played a lot better in game 2 and 3. But I want to talk about the ejection in game 4.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, that was a turning point. Not only for that game, but potentially could have been a turning point for the series. Now, I was watching something today. I can't remember which show I was watching, but they were showing some clips that Wemby and Nas Reed had been a little physical when they're playing each other throughout the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And eventually it was going to come to a head. Now, that was a flagrant. There was no need to do that. I will say that. There was no need for him to straight UFC elbow on me. He thought it was UFC. So, Raj, in your opinion, does that ejection, because they're saying he's not going to be punished any other, no further punishment outside of the ejection. Do you think that this is a turning point in the series? And do you believe that the Minnesota Timberwolves will shock the world?
Well, let me start off with the suspension, okay? Because I remember Ron Artest did the same exact thing to James Harden, right? And and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I'm not the most sharpest tool in the shed when it comes down to remembering dates and times and exact things that happened. But I could have sworn Ron Artest got suspended for 4 or 5 games, or probably more than that. Am I correct?
I think it was 5.
It was 5 games, right?
He
I think it was
definitely
I
got
think it was 5.
suspended.
He
I
got
can't remember the
suspended,
amount of
right?
games, but he definitely
Okay.
got suspended.
Yeah,
But
I do remember him getting suspended. I think we're gonna say 5 games. Wemby should be suspended for at least 4. And I'm gonna tell you guys why. It boils down to this. When you are a 7'3" center that is coming at somebody full speed with an elbow, I don't care if it's at their head, I don't care if it's at their chest, I don't care if it's at their neck. When you're doing that, you're intentionally trying to hurt them. There's no, oh, I was just trying to get them off me. No, this was not a basketball play, gentlemen. This was a play that was intentional. They got under Victor Wembanyama's skin, and now he's officially compromised. And what I mean by that is now they know how to get to him. Because before this all happened, they was talking about how great he was, how he's the greatest center on the planet. Oh, my God, did you see the blocks? Oh, my God, he went to the Shaolin monks during the offseason. Did the Shaolin monks show them how to throw that elbow? That's the real question. Did the Shaolin monks show him how to do that? Because last time I checked, Shaolin monks are peaceful people. They don't go out there throwing bows like they're ludicrous. So with that being said, the man should be suspended. At least give me 1 game. Give me 1 game. I'll take 1. And I'm not saying this because I want to see the San Antonio Spurs lose this series, because ultimately I got them winning the series. However, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If you're going to get Ron Artest for 5 games, you can at least get Wemby for 1. They said no punishment outside of that. They won't even hit him with a fine. Do you guys realize he hit Nas Reed in the throat?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And to me, the issue, this is just my personal opinion, I think it depends on the player. I think it depends on the player.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Because Ron Artest, even though we know Ron Artest can be a nutcase sometimes, why is it okay for Ron Artest to get 5 games? But hold on, I gotta get back in. Hold on, I gotta go for it. Go for it.
He got 7 games, and it was because Ron Artest set off the Malice in the Palace and had done a bunch of others. Like, his reputation mattered. That wasn't the first thing that he had ever done. This is the first time we've ever seen Wemby do anything of this nature. So I don't feel like it's an apples to apples comparison. So this was Houston Ron Artest too. So at this point, like I said, he had a long history, you know what I mean, of like suspensions and fines. So.
Yeah, which is why, like I was saying, it depends on the player. Echoes back again.
Definitely.
Echoes back again. Ooh. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if it depends on the player. Which ain't right. Wrong is wrong.
I mean,
wrong is wrong.
I mean, I think it's different if you got a history of, you know what I mean?
I think it is fair that it depends on the player, but I also think that it's fair that Raj said, like what he said, Wemby does deserve at least a 1-game suspension for this act. When you throw an elbow with that much force and that much velocity to it from a big guy, you know, we all look at Wemby and we say, oh, he's wiry. But let's not forget, this dude's 7'3", 7'4", so that height takes away from his weight. He's stronger than what he looked like. And so when you talk about a 7'3", 7'4" guy throwing an elbow with that much velocity and power behind it at somebody's neck and throat area, jaw area, he could have did much more damage than he did. just luckily it just so happened to be, knocked him down, probably had a little bit of bleeding inside the mouth type thing going on. But what if he had hit him in the tempo? What if he had hit him in the eye? You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. What if it had turned out to be like LeBron and Isaiah Stewart that time? You know what I'm saying? Where he bloodied him up real bad. You know what I'm saying? So for that reason alone, I definitely felt like Wemby should have got at least a 1-game suspension. But I do agree with Will. I think that it's fair that your history and who you are kind of dictates the type of punishment that you may get. But also talking about the Ron Artest and James Harden thing, let's not forget how that happened. Harden dunked on Ron Artest. He flailed up at him, and then Ron Artest came back. They bumped chests. He looked them face to face, and then boom, elbow right to the temple, which also could have did much major damage to James Harden. James Harden was for a couple games after that. So let's not forget that. But with Ron Artest, it was more premeditated and intentional. Even though Wemby did it on purpose, I still think that he also did it by mistake, if that makes sense. I don't think he threw the elbow with the intent to, fuck him up like he did. I think he was just doing the old pat in his center, throw the elbow, get the fuck up off me. He meant to make contact, but I don't think he meant to make contact in the way that he did, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense.
I ain't gonna like if they would have suspended him a game. If they would have suspended him a game, like cool. Like I ain't gonna sit here and act like I don't understand that because he's Victor Wembanyama, like the guy that they want to be the face of the league moving forward. Like that factored into it too.
Yeah. That definitely
he did that shit on purpose. Like he knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. He drew back, and you know what I mean. Like that. And so I'll say this too. Like he got a man to fuck up because that's how people gonna play him in the playoffs. I know this is his first, playoff run or whatever. So like this is one of them things he got to learn. That come playoff time, like they gonna let everybody be more physical than they do in the regular season, because that's how everybody plays in the playoffs. It's more intense, it's more physical, it's more of all of that.
Him being as big as he is,
gonna have to get used to that shit too. They
gonna play him like that for the rest of his career.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yep.
So like I say, being that happened in the second quarter, I feel like they kind of looked at it like he already missed the game basically. But the rest of that game, one more game, like I ain't gonna die on either hill. You know what I'm saying? But then I feel like he definitely did that shit on purpose. Like he knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. And if they wanted to, suspend them 2-3 games, they probably could.
Let's keep it a stat, gentlemen. If Ant-Man did that, he would be suspended.
Just to kind of.
Ant-Man ain't never got no trouble. I don't know about that.
I don't think he's gotten in trouble like that.
I know. I don't think he's gotten in trouble. I'm talking about as far as the agenda of pushing Victor Wembanyama as the face of the league.
I mean, Ant is also one of those guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he may not be Wemby, but he high in that pecking order. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it would have been too much different. To be honest with you.
He's also an American athlete. He's not an international athlete. So there's that little edge that Wemby have that he doesn't. I'm telling you.
He not Anthony Edwards, not their cup of tea either.
Exactly. He don't fit their agenda at all. Anthony Edwards is his own man. They would have suspended him. They would have got him. And I'm not saying that because Wemby's not a good or a better player than Ant-Man, but I also feel like Ant-Man he's himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Wemby's with Nike. The NFL's in the bed with Nike. Ant-Man's with Adidas. He's just not their cup of tea.
He's just not their cup of tea.
Would you say?
And lastly, I'm gonna say, if he would have elbowed, if somebody would elbow Wemby, they would be suspended.
Is it fair to say, in your opinion?
I agree. I think all that matters. I think all that matters.
If Nas Reed would have elbowed Wemby in the throat, he'll never come back to the NFL. I'm NBA.
He'll never come back to the NFL.
Is it fair to say that Anthony Edwards is days and ages Allen Iverson in terms of like the league not accepting him?
Yes.
Accepting him. I agree.
Because he got multiple baby mamas.
A lot of these dudes got multiple babies by multiple women who are like some kind of famous for some reason or in the public eye. Like come on now.
He's too hood. He's too hood for the NBA.
I don't know if Adam Silver sits in his office and be like, man, I dreamed of a dude like Ant being the face of our league. But like Ant really, he's one of the faces of the league. I guess, and I'm gonna hit some air quotes, and only thing anybody can really say about him is that he got some babies and he not married. And it's like, yeah, probably most of your fans got babies and ain't married. Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he got like big national ads and marketing campaigns. Like, Ant he's one of the faces of the league. I ain't gonna say he's the face of the league, but he's one of them guys.
So who do you think?
And him being true to himself is his brand.
So who do you think's the face of the league right now?
Honestly, I still think it's kind of LeBron.
That's fair.
Because everything still revolve around him for the most part. After him, then it's still kind of Steph and KD. Like, I don't think any of the young guys have really. Like, I don't think Giannis has ever been the face of the league. He's been one of them guys, you know what I mean? But I don't never think he's ever been the guy. Luka keeps coming really, really close. He always getting fucking hurt. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But Luka was like, you know what I mean, trending in that direction, you know what I mean, a couple of times. I don't think Shea has any desire to be so. I think Shea just, you know, I just want to hoop and kind of do the shit I like to do when I'm not hooping kind of guys. I ain't, you know, like I still think it's like, for the most part, I think it's still LeBron, to be honest with you.
Shay's like the Joker in that regard to me. He's just like, I don't give a fuck about nothing. It's not play basketball. I don't give a fuck about nothing. It's not play basketball.
Man. Joker, like, Joker won the championship and was like, man, wait, it's a parade and it's win. Fuck, man, I'm ready to go ride my horses. Like, y'all bullshit. Like, I mean, I gotta pay for this parade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that really happened. Like, it's, you know, that's another good name. You know what I mean? He don't have a desire to be.
Joker literally Kirk Cousins. The championship. He won and didn't care.
Man.
He was like, nah, fuck this. I won. I did what I was supposed to do. It's time to go home.
Yep.
I think everybody's cool with Joker not wanting to be the face of the league. Like that, this is like it's like yeah, that's all right, bro. It's cool.
Facts.
Shit, hey, I tell you another person who was trending that way. Ja, three years
Oh
ago,
yeah, he
Ja
threw
was
that
trending
away.
that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he threw that away.
yeah.
Yeah, he threw it away.
And again, like he's probably the best example that I can use because they were really like, he's a Nike guy. The league was behind him. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
he started doing dumb shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then injuries and you know. But the league was pushing him. The league was behind him. Nike was behind him. He had like and he
Sure.
one of them omni fiery kind of, you know. I ain't saying him and Ant is one and the same, but you know, put you in a similar mindset when it comes to their personality, their disposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to segue here to please. I don't know if y'all seen the video I sent earlier.
Which one?
The crowd making Paul George cry after the game. Yo, he's sitting there like this.
Calling a podcast P.
They're like podcast P, and all you see is him cry. I'm like, damn. Like, yo, they brought this man to tears. So we know the Sixers got swept by the Knicks. I mean, I gave them a gentleman's sweep. I thought they'd get one. But if they wasn't gonna show up, y'all should have just let Boston go. Seriously. So, but the story I have, or what I want to discuss after the game, Joel Embiid said something to the effect that it was a successful year for him because he was healthy to end the year. But then he also said he don't know if he's going to be there next season. Is it time for Joel Embiid and the 76ers to part ways?
Yes.
Can I go first on this one?
Yes.
Go for it.
All right.
Go for it.
Thank you. In theory, yes. In practice, who in the fuck is signing up to pay Joel Embiid $200 million over the next 3 years? Who is rushing and running and fighting to be at the front of that line to acquire Joel Embiid? If he's saying that, I don't know if they didn't talk to him about they might do like Milwaukee did Dame and stretch and waive it because it's almost impossible to get out from up under that contract as presently constructed. So
I agree.
I don't know what the conversations are with him and the organization, you know what I mean, at the moment. But that led me to believe that they are having some kind of discussions about what the future, you know what I mean, possibly looks like. They got some young guns over there, you know, with Maxey and Edgecombe. Again, Podcast P got an albatross of a contract right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of came back from the dead. You know what I mean? He showed that he could still play a little bit. He's not, you know, where he was obviously, but he ain't a stiff, you know, a complete stiff or whatever. He got something left. But again, like even if you get rid of Embiid's contract, you still got, I mean, Paul George's contract. So that just made me real curious to see what the front office in Philadelphia and the ownership, like what their plans are forward, what they are going to do. Like I say, in theory, absolutely it's time. But and practice, you know what I mean? How do you make that happen? It's not as many dumbass front offices like it used to be that just be trading for injury prone, you know what I mean, past their prime Hall of Fame and all-star players. You know, these front offices are a lot more sophisticated. They still do a lot of dumb shit a lot of times. Don't get me wrong, but they're a lot more sophisticated than they used to be. Like I say, I don't see too many GMs just like, oh yeah. He said what? Oh, they might be moving them. Yeah, we about to. I'm about to try. I'm about to give up these assets. You know what I'm saying? Especially with with this new CBA or the one they had the last few years, second apron, all of that. It's harder to even gamble on a guy like that. So I don't like I say it might happen. I think it's a coin flip. You know what I mean? But it wouldn't surprise me. Like I say, if they either wave and stretch him, wave and stretch PG, one of them. But they got to do something to like I say, start building around Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe.
Can I go real quick?
Yeah, just R&B. We're talking about the Sixers.
R&B. We're talking about
and the question was if Embiid and the Sixers should go their separate ways. Go ahead, Raj.
Their separate ways.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
One thing about it.
Yeah, I can hear you. One thing about it.
If the NBA has got 30 teams, right?
If the NBA has got 30 teams, right?
Half of them are going for the playoffs, and the other half is just
going for the playoffs.
Being
and the other half is just being mediocre.
So with that being said, there's teams like the Brooklyn Nets, there's teams like the Milwaukee Bucks, there's teams like the Miami Heat, who really don't have a full, clear future of what's going on in the next couple of years. All they're missing is just one player to sell out arenas, and that's it. I witnessed it with Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. I witnessed it with KD and Kyrie with the Nets. So there's organizations out there that's like that. They just got to find the next dummy to take over the contract. And one thing about dummies, they're a dime a dozen and they're born every day. So at this point, I'll shop Joel Embiid and see where it goes.
Can I?
Well, you can shop him.
Real quick, Rod.
But it's
Go ahead, bro. I'll wait for you. Go ahead.
See where it goes, but I don't know how successful you can be at that because if I'm mistaken, at that because if I'm mistaken, 178 million to 200 million next year. So that's a lot of money to invest in somebody who has the injury history and the history and not being available like Joel Embiid has. Now, you know what I'm saying? If you hope that you can find somebody that's willing to say, fuck it, we'll take a chance on them. I don't know, maybe like a Boston. Boston might be a team that, I could probably throw out there that it might be because the reason why it has to be a team, for one, that's willing to take the risk, but they have to be a team that's willing to take the risk because they have enough already that if Joel Embiid misses a lot of time, which we know is damn near a guarantee he will, it won't hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Like a team like a Boston that could say, just give us 35, 45 games and then just do it for the playoffs and let's do it. And I'm just throwing that out there as an example, though. Not to say that it would happen. But I think, personally, for me, I think Philadelphia is probably stuck with Joel Embiid, to be honest with you. And they're going to have to figure out a way to make it work with what they have currently with him and Maxey and Ed Coleman. Your piece that you're going to have to shop that you may be able to get somebody to take on as a PG. But they, to be honest with you, man, Philly is just in a bad position right now. They're in a bad position. And I don't know how they can really bounce back from this. Their best hope, to be honest with you, is that they can come back healthy next year and just try to see what they can get out of this group if they can get any help out of them. And that's probably their best chance, because I just don't see how you can shop Embiid or Paul George, because the money is just you're not getting the bang for your buck, and it's not really a lot of teams that'll be willing to take that chance. Unless it's a team that's already a contender, they're not going to have to give up a lot, and they can sit up and say, we can afford to have him come here and play 40 to 45 games and still win 50-plus games and be ready to contend in this conference.
Yeah, I don't have much on this year, but it is time for a divorce. But to your point, R&B, they don't have what it takes to make one happen. You got a better chance of moving anyone else on that roster. But you're not moving Joel Embiid. Especially
Which is
for a
probably
guy
why they
that
traded McCain to OKC.
Not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, Joel Embiid's never even been to a conference finals.
Never been out the second round.
Like Donovan Mitchell and who else? There's someone else.
That's never been to a conference finals?
Right. Raj, when you mentioned KG and Paul Pierce, you was talking about them getting traded to Brooklyn, right? To the Nets, right?
Yeah.
That trade is the reason why nobody gonna trade for Joel Embiid. Because after the whole league saw how Boston fleeced the Nets for all of them picks that turned into, you know what I mean, all of these different assets for them over the years or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And again, like KG and Paul Pierce didn't even exactly have like the injury history that Joel Embiid got. I know, you know, they wasn't exactly what they was no more, but like they were still like playing and consistent. You know, they did get them Nets teams to the playoffs a couple of years. But Joel Embiid, that's a $200 million gamble on a dude that's almost never. I'm pretty sure he's missed more games than he's played in his career, right? I'm not mistaken in saying that, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he miss the first 2 seasons?
He did. He missed the first 2.
Yep. Yeah. No, like I said, unless they stretch and waive, if they stretch and waive his contract, I could think of a few teams. You know what I mean? That he would be a good fit for. But as it is right now, I don't know how they get off that contract, man.
I'll be on the phone with the Sacramento Kings.
Something else when we were just related to draft picks. It made me think about that too. You probably not gonna be able to move Paul George or Joel Embiid unless you're willing to attach a first round pick to either one of them to try to get somebody to take them. And that still ain't a guarantee. So now you're talking about the possibility of a team saying, okay, I'm willing to take them on, but give me a first round pick with it for collateral. They just in a bad position, man. They in a bad position.
But then you still have to be a team that basically has, because I think he about to make $60 million next year or whatever. So that's $55-60 million in cap room to move into that slot, because there's very few players that you can trade him for and max salaries. You know what I mean? And if if you trade him to a team that can afford him, more than likely it's a bad team. So you probably not gonna have a bunch, you know what I mean, enough salaries to make that work. Like it would be a mess of a trade to even try to make if you had somebody that was interested. You know what I mean? Like it would probably have to be like a 3-team, 4-team trade to even make it happen.
That's the truth. That's true too. It did have to be.
That's true. That's
A
true
lot
too.
of-
It had to be
A lot of
So,
moving pieces.
I got it right here. Joel Embiid will make 60 million. 58 million next year, and next year will be the first year of his 3-year extension of $192.9 million maximum contract.
That they stupid asses would be would not have to be paying if they didn't give him that extension 3 years ago. That nobody thought they should have gave him to fucking begin with.
Put themselves in the bad spot.
They're gonna be in a bad situation. There's gonna be no way out of it. Moving to Detroit and Cleveland. Raj, is it fair to say that James Harden is the biggest choke artist in NBA history?
I would say yes, but you know what? He's actually playing pretty good tonight. So, but overall, I think he's.
I said game's not over.
You said it's who?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's more or less. What do you expect from James Harden? You know, 9 turnovers a game is crazy, but if you can get him to focus and to lock in and score, he can help. Because right now Donovan Mitchell isn't playing good, and now James Harden pretty much is controlling the tempo of the team. So it depends. It depends on how you look at it. I mean, from the past previous games that happened before this game or before the game before this, yeah, he was playing terrible, and he's it's definitely some choke artist stuff. But I think at this point in his career, this is who he is.
What you say, R&B?
I'm trying to understand Rod's point because right now he's tap dancing like Bojangles. Is he a choke artist or not? Because who gives a fuck about what he's doing right now? This is the second quarter.
I mean, if you look at him as a choke artist,
this man do? Yeah. What if he's historically seen him do even in this very series?
Then he's a choke artist.
It's a slob all over the court from them choking.
All right, he's a choke artist. That's the answer.
R&B, do you think Cleveland can win this series?
I'll be honest with you. I do think Cleveland can win this series. I think that Cleveland has more talent than the Detroit Pistons to win this series. But I don't think that they're going to win it. I think the Pistons are going to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Knicks. Because Cleveland, for whatever reason, just they can't get out of their own way, and they just have seemed to degress. Look at Mobley. Look at Evan Mobley. He's like a shell of himself from a year or two ago. Jared Allen, a shell of himself from a year or two ago. Donovan Mitchell, still the same high-scoring Donovan Mitchell, but has not had a good playoff run at all this year, including the first round till now. James Harden, still a choke artist. They have the talent. It's good. I think they have a good head coach. I think Kenny Atkinson is a good head coach. We all see that J.B. Bickerstaff is a damn good head coach because he was Cleveland's head coach and then he came here and we know what the Pistons looked like before he got here. So I can't even blame it on Atkinson. I think they got a good head coach. I think it's them.
Makes sense. And I think you guys just extended.
Yep.
I couldn't hear you clear, Mike. That whoever got that echo going, man, that shit is horrible, man. Every week.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't there before. Because I tried to go out, come back in, it's just not going away. I said, didn't you guys just extend Bickerstaff?
Yeah, legit. JB Bickerstaff last year, yeah, that was his first year.
No, he got a contract after we beat Orlando in the first round.
Yeah. I think he signed an extension.
Oh yeah. I think he just signed a 2-year extension, 2 or 3.
I don't remember. I remember reading it. Just don't remember where it was or how long it was, rather.
Yeah, it was like a 2 or 3 year extension. Steve Kerr just signed a 2-year extension today. That's the only coaching news I knew about that I actually had in my itinerary that I was putting together earlier before I got the news that I got.
Yeah. So yeah, that echoes Will. So he muted himself and it went away. Or no. Maybe it is me.
It's the phones, man. Brothers got to get on some computers.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, what's your thoughts so far on how Detroit's playing this series?
I think they're doing exactly what I thought they were going to do. Cleveland is exactly who we thought they were. James Harden, to paraphrase Jay-Z, he got a 1 good game every 10 game average when it comes to the playoffs. And that's exactly what he's been doing. Raj was saying that he's playing well right now. That's cool. I'll wait until the fourth quarter, you know what I mean, and see what that looked like then. But Cleveland never scared me. I had the Pistons in 6 to begin with. I echo what Ryan was saying. Like, I feel like Cleveland is the more talented team, but they just don't scare me. I don't feel like the pieces on that team, you know what I mean, don't necessarily fit together the way that they need them to. I think they were hoping that James Harden, in more of a secondary role, would, you know what I mean, kind of, I guess maybe not choke because he's not the man or the face or whatever the case may be, but we saw it in Philly when he was with Embiid. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw it that game 7 when he was in Brooklyn. Wherever he go, you know what I mean, ball in hand, off ball, second best guy, third best guy, whatever. He just don't. He ain't built for the playoffs, man. So series is exactly kind of where I thought it would be.
We damn near can do a list on James Harden's most horrendous choke jobs in the playoffs. Like his top 10 choke jobs in the playoffs, I feel like we could do a list on that shit.
Remember, I told y'all when we was doing our shoot guard list, and I'm like, man, he almost didn't make my list because of his, annual playoff failures. Like, in a vacuum, is other players that I think he's better than if we were just talking about the regular season. But the playoffs matter, especially when you one of them guys. You was an league MVP. So, like, you get held to a higher standard, man. I can understand having a bad playoff game. I can understand having a bad playoff series. But having a bad playoff career as a Hall of Famer, like, I've never seen that before. I've never seen another Hall of Famer with a whole entire bad playoff career. It's like how Kobe had 8 and 24, and we like marvel at how they were almost identical. You know what I'm saying? 2 separate Hall of Fame careers. He got the opposite of that. He got a Hall of Fame regular season career, and then he got an end of the bitch Euro League playoff career. Like it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
I can think of dudes who didn't win much in the playoffs, but they went out there.
It's crazy because James, I can remember thinking back, James Harden has had some like very good playoff games and very good playoff series. It just sucks. It just sucks that even in the series where he's played good at, when it get down to game 7, he either didn't show up or he showed up until the end. Because I remember the game 7 against Golden State. He played pretty damn good in that game 7 against Golden State. The team as a whole just decided to go 0 for 20 something from 3. And they lost by 2. So if they had hit 1-3, they win that game.
I think where everything went left for him in regards to his reputation, because some of it people kind of understood, because a lot of people were saying like the way Houston was playing, you couldn't duplicate that success in the playoffs or whatever. But that game, God, who were they playing where he was on the bench in the third quarter with the towel over his head? Josh Smith and what's my man? It was Josh Smith. What was the dude that went to Florida with Al Horford and Joakim Noah, Corey Brewer? Fucking Josh Smith and Corey Brewer brought the Houston Rockets back. You know what I mean? The Clippers. That was against the Clippers. That was against the Clippers. Like, dude, I think everything went left for him there because niggas was like, man, how you quit and yo end of the bench dudes, you know what I mean, got y'all better game. And I think it just all, it's just been all bad from there, man. Like you say, he done had some good games and some good series. It's not that, but for somebody of his stature, he done had way too many. Just like they say, he got what, like 5 games in the playoffs or 20 games, maybe something in the playoffs where he had more turnovers than made field goals. Like that is fucking insane, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's insane, especially for somebody that's the ball handling caliber he is. I think me personally, I think it started in OKC when they went to the finals and they lost to the Heatles, and he choked in that finals. Even though he was young, nobody held that one against him. I think that got to him, and it don't seem like he was ever able to escape that out of his mind.
Yeah, nah.
Pistons and 6.
So not last but not least. Are the Lakers getting swept tonight?
Yeah, pack that shit up.
I'll go ahead and start this one off.
Yeah, I think it's over, man. They just ain't really got nothing for OKC, man. OKC is just so loaded with talent, bro. We was talking about Mitchell coming off the bench too. And you know what's crazy? Do y'all know that OKC got, I think, 2 or 3 players right now in their rotation that's playing for them at a high level that were on Philly's roster last year, and didn't get on the court. The Philly traded to OKC. Mitchell being one of them, and then it was another one. It's like another 1 or 2 that been playing good minutes for. McCain.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's wild business right there. So that just goes to show you, like, the Phillies, not to backtrack, but Philly's big problem is Daryl Morey. He needs to fucking go. Daryl Morey needs to fucking go. But getting back on track, yeah, I think it's just over for the Lakers, man. I don't see them being able to do any miracles to try to extend this series or anything like that. I think that they're just overpowered by OKC. Shea hasn't even been having his best series. He's had some bad shooting nights in this series so far. But again, OKC being so deep, and they missing Williams. That Shea been shooting bad, and Williams is out. But yet Chet has stepped up. Mitchell has stepped up. Case and Wallace has stepped up. They just a powerhouse, man. And these motherfuckers got the 12th pick in the draft again. So it just
plot thickens.
I don't think the Lakers got nothing for it, man. But I gotta, after y'all go and get y'all perspective on this, I got a question that I want to ask all y'all pertaining to LeBron and the Lakers.
Okay. Raj. In your opinion, we have not seen a repeat champion. I think it was 7 years, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think the last repeat champion that I remember was the Miami Heat.
No, Golden State.
Golden State? Okay.
Golden State with KD.
So we haven't seen one since then. Does that trend break this season?
I see the Spurs taking it.
Okay.
So there's no repeat.
And what makes you pick the Spurs over the OKC?
Just mathematically, they beat them 5 times this season. So they got their number.
Now, to me, it's hard. I equivocate that beating an NFL team 3 times. Meaning, if you face a division rival 2 times in the season or once in the playoffs, it's hard to win 3 times. You believe that San Antonio could beat OKC 9 times?
Yeah, they already beat them 5.
But those first 5 now aren't important.
Well,
Now,
why wasn't it important this time? I mean, how was it more important this time than last time?
Because now you're paying for the championship.
Well, they got their number. If I know how to beat a team 5 times, then there's a great chance I could beat them in the series.
The Brooklyn Nets believe that against the Miami Heat years ago. We've seen how that ended.
But those are 2 different things.
I don't think anybody expected Brooklyn to beat Miami.
Yeah, it's the same point.
Nobody picked them.
Yeah, the same point. Nobody picked them. But the point I'm making is the Nets wanted the Heat in the playoffs. They beat them 4 times in the season. They believe they could do it. I mean, you're right. You could be right. But they're playing different.
Well, that's just my opinion. I think that OKC, if there's any team that can beat them, it's the Spurs.
You're right. So then, hold on. I lost the question for Will. I was just staring and I forgot.
I'll say this. I agree with Rob.
You just add on if you want.
I I don't think that Miami and Brooklyn is a apples to apples comparison with San Antonio and OKC. Um, San Antonio had Raj thinking that OKC might be falling off at one point. Remember, they was on a historic pace, and then San Antonio kicked their ass a couple of times. And Raj was asking, was it, you know what I mean, was it problems in OKC? Was, you know what I'm saying? And I think, I think, you know, those Brooklyn games against Miami, I don't think they mattered as much to those Miami Heat teams. OKC and San Antonio, I think they, in their mind, they've been headed towards the Western Conference Finals to see each other all season. So I think every one of them games meant something during the regular season. You know what I mean? And Wemby fucking hate Chet. He can't goddamn stand Chet Holmgren. And every chance he get to show that shit on the court, you know what I mean, and show his ass against them, he does it. I feel like I personally think that San Antonio is the only team that can really give OKC any real problems in these playoffs. I don't think OKC loses to anybody else that may still be out there. That, you know what I mean, whether it's Minnesota, God bless them, I love my Pistons. I don't think they're ready for OKC. I don't think the Knicks are ready for them. Cleveland damn sure ain't. Like, so San Antonio, I do believe that they could end up beating them 9 times this year. I don't think that they would sweep them, you know what I mean, like they basically did during the regular season. I believe that, you know, it would absolutely be a, you know, 6-7 game series, but I definitely think that San Antonio can beat them. Having said that though, Sam Presti is the Michael Jordan of general managers or team presidents or whatever his title is. He is head and shoulders above any and everybody else that has ever done that job. And I don't really think that the championship last year actually confirmed it. It was just like the last little box to check on the resume, because this man, he drafted Kevin Durant, he drafted Russell Westbrook, he drafted James Harden, he drafted Serge Ibaka. He traded for Oladipo, who he knew had some value, and then him and turned all of this shit into, you know what I mean? And then, you know, KD left, retooled a little bit, brought in PG, flipped that, you know, I don't think anybody knew Shea was going to end up being Shea, but you know what I'm saying? Made sure he got Shea in that trade. And now he like playing 2K at this point. If you ever played on the career mode back in the day when, you know what I'm saying? You keep having traded for good players. Oh shit, my salary cap running high. I'm gonna trade this dude for a pick 2 years from now for a team that I know that's gonna be bad and it's gonna be a lottery pick. Like, it's crazy that they defending champions and they got a fucking lottery pick this year. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that they was in position to draft Chet because they was in the Western Conference Finals, if I'm not mistaken, that year, right? Like, Sam Presti is playing a whole different game than every other GM in the NBA right now. OKC is the process. OKC is everything. OKC is everything. Shout out to Jerry West too. He probably number 2. But Sam Presti keeps finding and getting and acquiring, and like, Jerry West wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Even Jerry West had some down years when it was supposed to be a down year when they traded for Chris Paul. They made the playoffs. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody thought that was going to be, you know what I mean, a down year for them. Like, he just keeps finding guys, upgrading, retool. I can't even say retooling, just tooling up. Like I say, OKC is what the process was going to be. He did that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll say the Lakers are getting swept tonight. It's over. And they're going to place, in my opinion, San Antonio in the next round. I think it's going to go 7 games. And it's going to go 7 games. But I believe
I got a question for y'all though. Retaining to before you leave the Lakers. What do y'all think a sweep, if anything, does to the legacy of LeBron James at this point in his career if they get swept tonight? If anything, it's just a question. I'm not saying that it does mean something. I'm just asking, what do y'all think?
I don't think. Go ahead, Mike. My bad.
No, I don't have a full thought. So go ahead.
I don't really. I'll say this: when Dirk was averaging 7 and 4 that last year, and 10-6 or whatever the year before, them last few years that Dirk was in Dallas, nobody was coming at Dirk. Like it's at this point, he should only be able to enhance his legacy. I don't think at 41 years old, still playing at an all NBA level, all-star level, you know what I mean? They asked him to move to be the third guy. He did that at a high level. Then, you know what I mean? Luka get hurt, Austin Reeves get hurt. He get them out the first round when they really ain't had no business getting out the first round. And I'm not, obviously KD was hurt, you know what I mean, the Houston series or whatever the case may be. But again, just like I don't think it should be too much that he can do to harm his legacy at this point. I feel like everything else should just add to his legacy. Don't nobody hold it against MJ that he didn't make the playoffs the last 2 years with the Washington Wizards. Like, nobody talks about that. People act like that shit didn't even happen. People only really like to talk about the 6 years he won championships, but that's another conversation. But I think nobody knew what this season was gonna look like for him. Again, at his age, this many years in the game, this is 23rd season or whatever. He was still one of the 15 or so best players in the NBA. If it wasn't for injuries, again, I ain't saying they would have won a championship if it wasn't for these injuries, but I definitely felt like they could have been they would have been a lot more competitive against OKC. Nobody expected them to win this series. OKC is fucking loaded, man. Like, it ain't like he can carry the whole team like he used to. He needed some other people to step up. But I don't feel like it should be a blemish. You know what I'm saying, on his resume. I think leading them to the second round of the playoffs without they two best players, at this point, or if you want to say Cole's second best player with Austin Reeves, however you view that, getting them to the second round without them, I feel like was an accomplishment.
I'll say this. Whether people like it or not, LeBron is one of the greatest players of all time. He's in the top of every category that there can be at or within the top. I don't think it hurts him. To Will's point, he was asked to go to the third guy. He did that, and then he was asked to zone back and be the guy. Guy's still averaging 27, 41 years old. 23 years in the league. He's won 4 rings. People just want to use the length of his to hurt his legacy. I don't think it hurts him. I mean, the realistic idea here is going into the series, they weren't going to win it. Would they have won it? Sure. But I just don't think that it really hurts him. I'm sure he wants one more title. But this year ain't gonna be it.
Yeah, I agree with both what they're both saying. I don't think it affects his legacy at all.
I don't think it affects his legacy at all.
So that's it.
What about you, R&B? You have a take on that question?
On that question?
No, I don't think it affects his legacy. I just wanted to throw it out there to see what y'all thought. See if it was going to be any naysayers.
Well, gentlemen, we're at the 2 hour and 5 minute mark. Another good show. Is there anything else you guys wanted to cover before we sign off?
One thing, I don't know if y'all touched on this or not before I came in, but hold on, fellas.
Hey, Raj, real quick. Well, Raj, the more I think about it, the conversation we was having earlier about Ant-Man, Ja might be the reason that they nervous about making Ant-Man the face of the league. It might be Ja Morant's fault. He too real for this, bro. It might be all your fault, bro.
See, I told you. He's too urban for them. Too niggified.
Too niggified is crazy. You too black for this shit. Oh, shit, that was good.
Never should have gave you niggas money.
All jokes aside, though, Ja Morant messed up a lot of money for a lot of athletes in the American market. Sorry to say that.
All right, fellas. I'm gonna say this one for next week. I had something that I wanted to. I actually was trying to work into it. If I would have hosted today about the whole Jamal Murray debate or whatever, but unfortunately, I just got the news my father just transitioned, so I'm gonna end this and hop off of here and head out. I'll talk to you.
All right, we're sorry, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, everyone. Everyone try to have a good week. Try to be positive. And we'll be back next week. I don't know. I guess we'll just aim for Monday. And if it changes during the week, it changes. You know, and we'll go from there. Peace.
All right, fellas.